Good day, future educators. To begin with, let us first have a short prayer to be played via multimedia.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Father, we offer everything and thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you to open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirits so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ.
Before anything else, I would like to introduce to you this session's reporters: April Jean Bernales, Geraldine L. Suazo, Patrice Jean P. Paballore, Greg John Lumukso, Mercy Gabutan, Michael John Daypuyat, and Ruela Jean Ucate. So here are the topics to be expected: human and non-human resources or instructional materials and technological tools in teaching TLE, characteristics of good or appropriate IMs and technology tools, principles of universal design for learning, features and uses of ICT tools for collaboration and sharing resources in TLE learning, and lastly, community of learning for TLE and its effectiveness in the professional development of learners.
Alright, good morning everyone. This is April Jean Bernales, your first reporter in this topic, human and non-human resources. So, do you have any idea about what is human and non-human learning resources? I guess no, because I've asked to my cousin, who is also a teacher, if she had an idea about these topics, and then she replied me that she had no idea about this topic because this is new in this generation. So alright, lend me your ears and eyes on the screen so that you can all know and understand this topic very well. So okay, let's move on to our topic for today. It is human and non-human learning resources or instructional materials. So okay, what is instructional materials, by the way? So instructional materials, also referred to a teacher materials or e-learning materials. So the term instructional materials are used in the context to mean all the resources within the reach of the teacher and the learner, which are employed to facilitate teaching and learning. So, instructional materials, from the word materials, it is the method nga ginagamit sa mga educators, any collection of materials including animate and inanimate object and human and non-human resources that an educator may use in teaching and learning situation to assess, achieve desired learning objectives. So, by the use or by using of this material, it can help the students to understand the given topic or the given task. So, as we observe in our physical learning, our instructor or our teachers provide us a instructional materials such as charts, a handbooks materials, or a print-out materials. In that way, Manjud, the students can easily understand the discussion well because you provide the instructional materials from the word instruction. It is their guide for that specific subject or matter. So, and there's a lot of them it will be discussed later by the next reporter. So, okay. What is human resources and non-human resources? So, as you can see in the screen, ma-identify dayon ninyo diretso kung unsay difference between the human learning resources ug non-human resources. So, as you can see in the picture, there is a human learning resources, a instructor here is going to kanang sana nag-teach lang bitaw ni ang iyang students through actual without using the materials. It is his or her knowledge, kanang the instructor itself, iya lang source bitaw sa iyang knowledge ang iyang giteach diya sa iyang students. Only his ability to teach, na siya ability to teach bitaw, he or she is capable of that thing. So inanha ang human learning resources. And however, sa non-human learning resources, makita ninyo nga there is a mga material such as notebooks, laptop, and unsa pa na din ha kay danha man gyud by that way madali pagkasabot sa mga estudyante or sa mga learner kung unsa ang topic all about bitaw by the use of mga materials. Unlike po sa human learning resources, diba? So ma-identify ninyo gid kung unsa ilang differentiate anang duha. So, human resources. Human resources consist of individuals who provide various services in the teaching and learning process. They include professionals and non-professionals. So, human resources are those resources that human possess with them. Just like what I've said earlier, that human resources is your own ability or skills, nara na gid na sa imo kagalingon or kana capable ka ba ana nga butang. It's your own ability. So that's it. For example, para makasabot mo ayo, I provide ko og example. So for example, me as a future educator, I have this ability to teach my students. And even unprofessional or non-professional, as long as you are capable of that thing, you have an ability to teach in your own knowledge or ideas. So another example is I have my NC2 in my senior high school days. So the advantages of that matter is I can now be able to share or teach my knowledge even at my young age. It's because I have a NC2. In short, just like what I've said, I can be able to teach the other students who is a new trainee pa lang or kanang kuan pa sila, kamulo pa sila nag-start o tuon. So ako ma-share sa ilang akong nahibaw-an without using the mga materials, just my knowledge. So that's it, how the human resources work. Also, in addition for the human resources, from the word human resources, diba? It is the ability, our own ideas of that specific topic or things. It is in your own source. You are the source of that information. You are the source of skills without the help of others, without the use of any instructional materials. I can say that I am capable to teach sa akong mga estudyante soon. So, okay. So okay, mag-move na po sa technology tools. So technology tools refer to software primarily that can be used to develop or support online course content. So it could be the Kahoot. I'm not familiar with this app. So Kahoot, it is a game-based learning platform used as educational technology in schools and other educational institutions. So it's generated to multiple choices quizzes that can be accessed via a web browser or the app Kahoot. So mostly of the educator use this app to as their materials for that learning. And then we have here a Google Classroom. So Google Classroom, as we all know, right? As we all know that this app is very common to use this new normal system. With the help of Google Classroom, guys, it can be able to access our documents, files, and etc. all in one places for teaching and learning. So just imagine our easy to use and secure tool help the educator manage, measure and enrich learning outcomes experience, diba? And then so next we have here a Prezi app. So are you all familiar with these apps, right? So Prezi app is also a software where you can create a presentation that is really great and better to present. So next we have here a ClassDojo. So ClassDojo is a digital sharing platform that allows teachers to document the day in class and share that with families via web browser so that nearly any devices can access the content from a smartphone to a laptop computer, as long as it has a browser, photos, videos, and can be viewed. So ClassDojo allows students to work with the class remotely, including providing with this for students, deal out classwork and share lessons. So students can learn students can earn Dojo points based on their conduct. So because the students will create their own profile. So next we have here at Trello. Trello is a collaboration tool that organizes your project into boards. In one glance, Trello tells you what is being worked on, who's working on what, and where something is in a process. So next, we have here Slack. So Slack is also a new way to communicate with your team. It's faster, better organized, and more secure than email. So next is we have here Google. So as we all know that Google is these apps allow us to use to search the world's information, including the web page, image, videos, and more. So the Google has many special features to help us find what exactly we're looking for, diba? And then next is we have here Vintage Ink. So Vintage Ink is a complete design tool that allows you to design not only infographics but also tons of other types of visuals such as reports, diagrams, newsletters, and much more. So next is we have here Google Form. So Google Form is a survey administration software included as part of the web-based Google Docs editor. So it offered by Google. So This service also include Google Docs, Google Slide, Google Sheets, Google Drawings, Google Sites, and Google Keep. So Google Forms is only available as a web application. So all apps that I mentioned are effective in this new neural system of education. So technology is blooming in system. Educators and learners have access to countless technology tools that help every learners to instruct and learn. So that's end of my report. I hope that you learn something about my topic. Alright, I would like to pass the floor to Miss Suaso.
Thank you, Ms. Bernales. Non-human resources include physical and facilities and instructional materials which serve as the tools and devices through which stimuli can be passed or obtained. These are all forms of information carriers. These are resources that are outside citizenry. These are sources that are tangible things or objects that exist externally of individuals. They will be seen, experienced, and employed by people. There are many types of instructional materials, and these are common ones. First, non-projected. Second, printed and duplicated materials. Third, projected materials. Fourth, link, audio and still visual materials. Fifth, film and video materials. Non-projected displays. Visual displays which will be shown to a category, short group or individual student without the utilization of an optical or electronic projector of any sort. Examples of these are chalkboards, marker boards, flip chart, poster, and photographic prints. These are very common way of traditional teaching without the utilization of an optical or electronic projector of any sort. Printed and duplicated materials. They are textual handout materials to be employed by students for trainees, which may be escaped in large number by printing machine. Photocopies and duplication. For example, handouts, assignments, sheets, textbooks, and books. The books are the one example to printed and duplicated materials. It's very obvious now that the books are duplicated and it's very useful to the student like us. Link, audio, and still visual materials. These are combination of audio and visual materials to make an excellent instructional system and includes several media that are particularly suitable to be used in individualized instruction. Examples of these are tape text programs, film strips with sound, tape model. Projected materials. These are samples of motions, pictures, slides of varied sizes, transparencies for overhead projection, and specialized and opaque projector. For example, still projected displays, film strips, overhead, slide projector, transparencies. Film and video material. These are media material that can be able to audio to be combined with visual sequences, thus enable an extra dimension to be added to integrated audio-visual presentation. Examples of these are television, broadcast, tape film, videotape, recording, and video recording. Most of us have a TV in our house, but these television are used to those teachers in kindergarten. They use TV to teach their students and to interact with the children. Mauna lang way to educate the the children nang ka-apply sila ABCD nga songs or mga numbers, mauni ilang way para maminaw ang mga bata or para mainggan yung mga bata nga makuan ka ng magtuon. Now, I will pass the floor to Ms. Pagliari for further discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Wazo. At this juncture, I will discuss about the characteristics of good or appropriate IMs and technology tools. First, let us answer some of the questions that we need so that we can comprehend why do we have to be informed about instructional materials and technology tools, and why do we need to integrate them into the classroom. Why can't we just simply deliver the lesson or just use simple pictures to illustrate what we are talking about? So now, to answer those, let us now jump into our lesson proper. The first question that we have to answer is what are instructional materials and technology tools? Since this was already discussed, I will no longer go further. So instructional materials and technology tools are any resource used to help the teacher teach the lesson. These are tools used in educational lessons, which includes active learning and, of course, assessment. Next, why do we use instructional materials and technology tools? Of course, we cannot just use any materials and tools that we can see everywhere and use them in teaching and just say, basta na ako instructional materials o technology tools mo na ni. Because instructional materials and technology tools are essential in learning every subject in the school curriculum, which means that it should be relevant to what subject or lesson that we will deliver. And using appropriate instructional materials and technology tools allows students to interact with words, symbols, and ideas in ways that develop their abilities in reading, listening, solving, viewing, thinking, speaking, writing, using technology, and media. When do we use instructional materials and technology tools? We can use them during the discussion, both online or face-to-face. However, some must be modified or redesigned for it to be effective for both environments. It should also be aligned with the learning objectives and class activities that we will deliver in the classroom. Because what I have said earlier, we couldn't just bring any instructional materials or use any technology tools during classes. Now, let us discuss what are the characteristics of good or appropriate IMs and technology tools. We have 5 physical characteristics of instructional materials. First is size. It is important to use appropriate size of the instructional materials, whether these are pictures, flashcards, posters, or even PowerPoint presentation. We should make sure that these materials are big enough to be seen by everyone in the room. Nowadays, we have been using PowerPoint presentation. We should take note of the 7x7. It should not be crowded. The slide should not be crowded because what usually happens, we do not want to read already what are written because it is too crowded. Second, we should take note of the font size and font style that we will use because it should not be dramatic because it is so inappropriate. Second is color. Most of us are attracted to bright colors. It gives us attention when we see bright colors. Color is believed to be the most important visual experience to human beings according to Adams on his cross-cultural study of the effective meaning of color. That is why when people see red and yellow color in food chains, they can easily identify that it is Jollibee. The same with the delivery of instructional materials or technology tools. Color helps the students remember what they see. As what an expert says, the color functions as a powerful information channel to human cognitive system and has been found to play a significant role in enhancing memory performance. Next is durability. When we use instructional materials or technology tools, we should ensure its durability because it isn't only used once, but it will be used for several classes in a longer period of time. Now that we are using online, we should make sure that students can still be able to access the instructional materials even a month has passed or even days or any weeks has passed. Fourth is relativity. The instructional materials or technology tools should be related to the topic or lesson, as what I have mentioned earlier in the second question that we have answered, the purpose of the instructional materials and technology tools. The instructional materials and technology tools should not just be used for the sake of having them inside the classroom, but it should serve as an instrument for students to furtherly learn or understand the topic to be discussed. It should be aligned not to the subject but the topic itself. Lastly is manipulative, which means the students should be able to explore or operate that specific instructional material or technology tool. If you can remember, Mom Mihus gave us quizzes or she made us operate the website quizzes. It is a concrete example of what I have said na technology tool that we are able to manipulate. It was a technology tool related to our subject. Of course, we are able to operate it with proper guidance of how or the proper usage of that specific website. There are 100k apps labeled education in digital app stores, and yet more than 70% of them have little empirical research on how effective they are for growth in the learning, according to a report called Getting a Read on the App Store from the Joanne Gans Coney Center at Sesame Workshop. The overwhelming number of technology tools and lack of research makes it difficult for teachers to know which tools are just right choices for improving learning in the classroom. Researchers have shared 4 practical characteristics of effective learning with technology that teachers can look for when selecting a tool. First is social use, second is higher level thinking, third is value added, and lastly is authentic context. First is social use of the tool, co-use or co-engagement. Learning is socially constructed. This is important to remember, especially today in this online setting where students are isolated with their own devices. With this online setting, we all know that co-engagement is so limited, which is why it is important for teachers to look for a technology tool which will make or will help students co-engage with others. So here are the tools to use for co-engagement. The pictures posted up there are some of the examples of the technology tools that teachers can make use for students to manipulate and co-engage with others. Second, higher level thinking, avoiding drill and practice. While majority of educational apps and websites have a drill and practice element to them, research shows that students learn better when technology helps elicit their higher level cognitive skills such as reflective, thinking, analysis, creativity, inquiry, and focusing on the process of learning. So here are some examples of the technology tools that teachers can make use to develop the cognitive skills of their students. Third, authentic context connects students' everyday lives to content learning. Knowledge construction happens best when situated in authentic context and doing authentic tasks. As like what we usually hear, experience is the best teacher. Thus, teachers should look for tools that allow students to bridge their everyday lives with school learning to help them better make meaning out of the content. So some of the examples of websites or technology tools that teachers can make use are posted up there. Lastly, value-added scaffolds, differentiation, supports. Technology can help teachers differentiate learning based on students' learning levels or needs. So, the technology tools that teachers can make use in order to do that are posted there. So, those are some of the examples which can help teachers differentiate learning based on students' learning levels or needs. Also, before making an instructional
instructional material or choosing technological tool, teachers should keep in mind these important questions. First, what skills do I want my students to have? Second, how much do my students know? Third, what are the best instructional materials to use? Fourth, am I checking for understanding? Fifth, what are enrichment or supplemental act I can provide for advanced or struggling students? And lastly, how will I assess if my students have developed the skills I taught them? In that way, we can craft an appropriate instructional material or choose good technological tool that will serve as an instrument in making learning meaningful and creative, and of course, effective, and will also help in achieving the learning objectives set for that specific meeting. So that ends my discussion. I hope you have learned something, and I will now pass the floor to Mr. Lumugso for him to discuss his topic.
Thank you, Ms. Pabiliori. So today, we are going to tackle the 3K principles of UDL, or the Universal Design for Learning. Without further ado, let's start our lesson. 3K principles of UDL. First is the multiple means of presentation. Second is the multiple means of expression. The third one is the multiple means of engagement. Multiple means of representation. It is universally designed course content provides alternative presentation of essential concepts, various methods of presentation that can allow the students to learn the information in their preferred method. As a teacher, content could be presented using multimedia such as oral lectures, textbooks, charts, or diagrams, audio tapes, and videos. The same content could be changed from one medium to another, such as oral output for students with reading difficulties or pictures and illustrations for students who need a visual aids. For example, it is necessary to make it easy for students to adjust font sizes and background colors through technology, and also provide options for engaging with text such as text-to-speech, audiobooks, or partner reading. So the next K principles is the multiple means of engagement. Universally, it is designed course content, maintains varied skills levels, preferences, and interests by allowing for options. Having flexible teaching strategies and course content, students can choose methods that support their interest and skill levels. Tap into students' interest. So, how does this look in a classroom? Students would choose their preferred method of learning, new material. One child might learn vocabulary by playing a game in a race against the clock. Another might create stories or even artwork to incorporate the new world. So materials would provide extra support where students need it. For reading, so it is very important that students will practice in reading. Independent readers could read silently from a book. So students needing more support might read computer-based stories where they hear it pronounced or have the entire text to read aloud. To provide multiple means of engagement, examples are: first, survey students about their interests, strengths, and needs. Incorporate the findings into lessons. So second is use choice menus for working toward goals. And last, state learning goals clearly and in a way that feels relevant to every student. So the third key principles of UDL is multiple means of expression or multiple means of expression and action. Universally, it is designed course content allows for alternate methods of expression, allows student multiple means of demonstrating mastery of the material. So as a teacher, assignments would be accepted in various formats. As students who find written expression difficult might show his or her knowledge orally. So another might turn in a report, write a play, or develop a project to demonstrate learning. So paper and pencil exercises could become computer and printer. So in exchange, in a traditional way, we use paper and pencil. So in this approach, computer and printer is the one we'll use. So computer and printer exercises for students who are slowed down by the physical effort of writing, or for any student who prefers using a keyboard. To provide multiple means of expression and action, so na yung mga examples. So first example, provide calendars and checklists to help students track the subtasks for meeting a learning goal. Second, let or allow students to show what they know through a variety of formats, such as a poster presentation or a graphic organizer. So, third, provide students with access to common AT, such as speech-to-text and text-to-speech. That's all for my topic. Thank you for listening. I will pass the floor to the next reporters.
Morning everyone, I'm Marcy Kabutan and today I'm going to discuss about the features and uses of ICT tools for collaboration and sharing resources in TEL e-learning. Collaborative learning, according to Valamis, collaborative learning is the educational approach of using groups to enhance learning through working together. Meaning to say, there are groups or more learners who work together to solve a problem, complete tasks, or learn new concept. So in order to achieve an efficient collaborative learning, it should be supported with collaboration tools. So these are the collaboration tools uses. First, facilitate real-time and asynchronous text, voice, and video communication. So the accurate example of this is what we're doing right now. I know you're all familiar with this. Second, assist in basic project management activities. So this is very essential in our works. For example, I give a lot of activity tasks. So it enables you to manage your time. Third, support co-creation by enabling groups to modify output in real time or asynchronously. So the collaboration tools enables us to create outputs by online with less hassle. Fourth, simplify and streamline resource management. So this type of collaboration tools, it enables us to store our tasks or output online whenever you don't have enough storage in your phone. Lastly, enable local and remote presentation and archiving of completed projects. So collaborative tools, it enables us to present any output through online like sharing screen in class, webinar using the ICT tools. So there are the classification of collaboration tools. First is communication tools, second is project management tools, third resource management tools, fourth co-creation and ideation tools, fifth is presentation and archiving. For the communication tools, it enables the facilitation and management of effective communication among team members. Communication tools are designed many of the following functions. So it provides virtual meetings, email, instant messaging, screen sharing, blogs, voice, video, web conferencing, and discussion boards. So these are the communication tools examples. First is Zoom. So Zoom is a video conferencing platform that can be used through computer, desktop, or mobile app. It allows users to connect online for video conference, meetings, webinar, and live chat. Then the other one is the Gmail. So Gmail is a free web-based email service that can provide user with gigabyte of storage for messages and provide the ability to search for specific messages. So there are many different features of email, and it includes the automatic reply to message and auto forward and redirection of messages facility to send copies of message to many people, and then automatic filling and retrieval of messages. Third is Social Squared. So, Social Squared, a discussion board app for Microsoft Teams tabs and Microsoft Teams personal apps. So this type of tool provides information for workers with the ability to post questions with relevant forums and also receivers answers from their team. So these discussion boards, layout, or posts makes it easier to find answer to questions that may have already asked before. Is project management tools. Project management tools are geared toward handling logistical aspect of planning, scheduling, workflow, and task management. So these are the features of the project management tools. It provides task management. So in task management, it allows you to monitor your project through the various stages from the start to end. Time tracking, it allows us to understand how we must spend our time. Workflow routing, it allows us to manage tasks and activities required to complete a project, to make an efficient and effective sequence. Milestone, it is used to signal posts for a project to start or to end. In calendaring, so the primary practical use of calendar is to identify days in order for us to inform about or to agree on the future event. So these are the project management tools example. First is GoodDay. So GoodDay is the cloud-based work management platform designed to manage project, planning, product management, task organization, and progress tracking and collaboration. So this platform includes an interactive dashboard that enables the users to view the plan, schedule, and execute tasks. Next is Synapse. So it is best for time management. It provides a quick overview of the tasks you need to plan for it. Also, it controls exactly how long each task should take and who should be working on. And also, workload management features highlight if any one of your team is over or underworked. Then you get also the access to task management, the time tracking, and built-in chart tools. So that's an example of the management tools. And now I'll pass the floor to Mr. Michael Baypuyat to continue discuss the classification of the collaboration tools and the examples.
Good morning. My report is the continuation report of Ms. Gabutan. So, resource management tools helps address common issues like having access to a shared storage space for project files and keeping up with more multiverse versions of the same document. Resource management tools designed to handle many of the following functions. So, file storage, search, database management, version tracking, access management, social bookmarking, commenting, and tagging. So the resource management tools, if you ever want to feel the panic of not knowing what resources are available, you need a resource management tool. So these tools will help keep track of your business resources from employees that do the job, equipment to get it done, and the time needed to achieve a goal. So when it comes to education, resources management involved making a strategic plan for organizing and using school resources. So resource management involves evaluation and maximization of such resources. So these are the examples of resource management tools. First is the Google Drive, free cloud-based storage serves that enables users to storage and access files online. So Google Drive is a free service from Google that allows you to store files online and access them anywhere using the cloud. Then Google Docs allows users to create and edit documents online while collaborating with other users in real time. So not only does Google Docs help teachers and students create online word processing documents, but it also makes it easy to form presentations, spreadsheets, and other documents online with nothing more than a login name and password. So co-creation and ideation tools. So co-creation and ideation tools facilitate the most direct interaction between team members on the goals or direct outcomes of the project. So concept making, wikis, virtual whiteboards, real-time collaboration editing. So this co-creation and ideation tools facilitate the most direct interactions between team members on the goals or desired outcomes of the project. So using these tools, participants can often work in a groups directly kanang editing or building the project and artifacts. So these are the examples of kanang co-creation and ideation tools. So MindMeister and Canva. So MindMeister is a collaborative mind mapping app. It can help you organize, prioritize, and even generate new thoughts. So in Canva, a powerful design tool that can be used in education to create projects that not only look great but also help students the basics of digital design. So presentation and achieving. In presentation achieving, these tools allow the project team to present outcomes to the instructor, to a project client, or to the general public. So the features of this is the webinars, slideshows, and hosted media sharing. So many features of collaboration tools are geared toward the facilitation and management of effective communication among team members. So it is also a digital tool. It utilizes sequences of graphics, text, audio, and video to accompany a spoken presentation. So these sequences, often called slides, are consolidated with virtual files called slide decks. So these are the examples, the PowerPoint presentation and the Google Meet. So PowerPoint presentation created a software from Microsoft that allows users to add audio, visual, and audio visual features to a presentation. So we all know how to use the PowerPoint presentation because we use it we have a report or we have our demos. This is the easiest way on how we present our demos and reports. Then Google Meet, we use this every time we have class. We shared videos to each other. We can see each other in the Google Meet, so we can hear our voice or the one who is presenting or the teachers. So it is very helpful to us in presentation or archiving. So that's all of my report, and I will give the report to the next reporter.
Now, let's proceed to the topic focusing on community of learning and its effectiveness in development of learners. So first, let's define what is community of learning. A community of learning, it is a group of education and training providers that form around their students' education pathway, working together to help learners achieve their full potential. So, in addition, community of learning helps to engage and promote activities and interaction that allow for individual, socially constructed learning. Also, it allows teachers to have time to work together on tackling the achievements, challenges, drawing to each other's skills, knowledge, and experience based on the particular needs of its children and young people. So, community of learning creates learning-centered environment in which students and educators are actively and intentionally constructed knowledge together. Next is the benefits of COL. First,
The students and or faculty who participated in CUL are more engaged and academically motivated. Second, students learn to collaborate and work in teams. Third, students are more likely to integrate concepts from one course to other courses. Fourth, learning occurs across all domains like cognitive, affective, and social. With the benefits of CUL, learning becomes more meaningful for students by collaborating and sharing teaching capabilities and expertise. Children and young people's learning pathway are supported as their transition through the educational system is improved. Moving on to the effectiveness in the professional development of learners. To have an effective professional development of learners, the educator should develop the knowledge and skills they need to address students' learning challenges. It requires truthful planning followed by careful implementation with feedback to ensure it responds to educators' learning needs. Educators must put their knowledge and skills to work. Good teaching is not an accident. While some teachers are more naturally gifted than others, all effective teaching is the result of study, reflection, practice, and hard work. A teacher can never know enough about how a student learns, what impedes the student's learning, and how the teacher's instruction can increase the student's learning. So, with the help of the community of learning or group of education that helps learning to achieve their skills and potential, it is only means for teachers to gain such knowledge for professional development. Whether the students are high, low, or average achievers, they will learn more if their teachers regularly engage in high-quality professional development. Their learning supports not only teachers' learning but students as well. When leaders know how to engage teachers, support staff, and students in effective learning, the school becomes a center of learning for all adults and students. So always remember that professional development is not effective unless it causes teachers to improve their instruction or causes administrators to become better school leaders. So that's the end of our report. We hope that you understand and learn something about it. Thank you, and once again, good morning.